Hey guys, I'm John Givers III, and I'm the founder of Garage Gym Life. I've been a home gym owner since 2000, and one of the things that is different for you guys if you're setting up a home gym today versus when I set up a home gym over 20 years ago is you guys have so many more options as far as equipment, places to buy equipment. There's just so much information coming at you that it is difficult to filter through that fire hose and figure out which choices are the best ones for you. So I reached out to Natalie Hodge. Natalie is a personal trainer who operates out of her home gym. And for her, it is just as important for equipment to be cost effective as it is for the equipment to be safe to use for her clients. And so I asked Natalie to give us some best practices that she's picked up in her 8 years of experience as a home gym owner. Let's see what she has to say. I see all the stuff that you have in there, but did you set your gym up a piece at a time as you went along and you
I
saw
did.
needs? Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I started setting it up, I had my rower and I had a flimsy squat rack, and that's all
Okay.
I had. And I just kept building and replacing and building with that.
Okay.
And actually, the Echo bike, I had a Rogue GHD,
Okay.
and I thought I would love that. And it's a great piece of equipment, but in a home gym,
Yeah.
it
It takes
just
up a lot of space.
it takes a lot of space and it wasn't very universal.
Okay.
So I made a swap. And
Nice.
that's where that Echo bike came in, and took
Okay.
up that space.
You said you
Yeah,
made a swap. So did you like put it on Facebook Marketplace or
I did.
Craigslist or something?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It
Nice.
was, to me, worthwhile because this is much more functional, not just for me, but for my clients.
What are the things that you look for when you're looking for a piece of equipment? When you're like, okay, identify a need. Then because you go to so many different vendors, I guess, or
Yeah.
suppliers, what are the top three things that matter most to you when you're saying, okay, I'm going to add this piece of equipment to meet this need in my home gym?
So this came with experience, right? At first, it was just what are the basic essentials that I need? I need a piece of cardio equipment, right? And I need something to lift some weights with. And I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
And so I bought those first two pieces.
So you got some giant
Um,
rocks. So you-
yeah. And so I bought those first two pieces. My first squat rack, I just got off Craigslist. I was happy with it, but and I'm glad I bought it because it taught me I needed quality and it was worth
Mm,
spending the money, right? This
100%.
is something that I really love and I want, and I spend every day either training somebody or training myself. It's worth spending the money to get something that's going to be good, right?
Right.
Um,
And it's a safety thing too, because if you
it
buy
is
something that's not, you could mess around and get sued by your client because you were
absolutely
trying to cut corners. And now you get to spend the rest of that money. Nice.
exactly. So for me, I think quality always comes first. So spending time to get other people's opinions on things, listen, watch reviews, right? Um, Even just talking with my community about this piece versus that piece. I know the Concept 2 rower is super popular. It wasn't exactly what I needed. The one that I have is pretty dang affordable and it's solid and it's lasted me for a long time and I have great customer service,
Yeah.
right? So those are all things that I think about. Customer service is another thing because I've ordered a lot of new pieces of equipment and it didn't quite come the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, even with Rep, like they're a great company. They have great customer service. I had shown them on my cable system. There is a little part that I was worried might start fraying.
Yeah.
Um, they just sent me a new part. I haven't used it. I haven't had the need to it, but to ease my worry,
Right.
right? They were like, here you go. And they sent it to me. So I have
100%.
one just in case,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I've now had it for 3 years and haven't had to use it. So I say quality, good customer service
Okay.
is a really big thing for me. And then because I'm a woman and because I train a lot of women, and I also work with students, some of which are, total adult size, but a lot of them are smaller.
Yeah.
Um, I do often think about how does this fit me for size? How will this fit my client for size? Right.
Yeah.
Which goes back to that smaller rep rack. I'm
And the
really happy
bar
with.
and
And the
the Bella
bar.
bar. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Bella bar. Honestly, the Rogue bench also. My rep bench sits like 1.5 inches higher.
Yeah.
And when I use that with a lot of women, a lot of kids, I've got to put plates under their feet
Yeah.
to make sure that they are able to get that good leg drive. But with the Rogue bench, it's just a little bit shorter. And I mean, it makes a difference. So I do think about those things. Probably, I would say those would be the top 3 things: quality, good customer service, and then how is this going to fit me and the
Okay.
clients that I'm serving.
What about if you're going to buy something used? You mentioned that you bought that squat rack off of Craigslist. Shout
Yes,
out to Craigslist. That was the #1 supplier for home gyms for a while. Um,
was
but you still buy stuff off of Facebook Marketplace as well. You sell things
yeah.
on there. So what are some of your, let's say, what are your best practices if you're going to be buying something used off of one of those marketplace secondhand places?
Yeah. So in terms of secondhand place or secondhand equipment,
Just used equipment. I don't
um,
want to say secondhand. That doesn't sound good.
sure,
So
sure.
like used
Used.
equipment. Yeah.
Um, so generally, with the exception of the Echo bike, it's been mostly weights that I've done. You know, those are solid. You know the brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still looking for the same things.
Yeah.
Um, and then the only other thing I would say is, in my opinion, don't be afraid to negotiate.
Yeah.
Somebody's got that equipment, they've got it listed,
Right.
they want to sell it, right?
Right.
I've got a lot of things at a really good price because of that.
Yeah.
Some of my bars I've gotten that way, dumbbells I've gotten that way. I mean, when they were really hard to come by.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've even looked at treadmills and stuff like that in the past. I've just not found. I feel like treadmills get really beat down sometimes. So
Okay.
cardio equipment, I'm a little bit more hesitant to buy, as
Right. Because the
used.
motor and that kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But feel like weights,
Okay.
find them. And that's another thing, like with my outdoor camp, we're outside.
Yeah.
So if I can find some solid kettlebells that can handle concrete or, being outside,
Yeah.
those are perfect things to get used, right?
Gotcha.
And I'm always on the lookout for that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. So like the thing that I like, and I'm hearing you say, you're not saying it, but I feel like this is sort of your pattern as well. It's like if I want something, I go and I look for it brand new first.
Yeah.
And one reason for that is because that's how you learn the specs. You
Yeah.
learn what it's supposed to do, what it's supposed to look like when it's brand new. And then I'll do, like, if I'm looking for reviews on it, I'm looking for reviews. And those reviews were typically done with something that had been taken out of the box and used, maybe 2-3 weeks at most. And people can say, okay, this is what it's supposed to do. Then I go look and see if it's available used. And then if I'm going to go, I don't ever get used sub shift to me. So I'm going to go inspect it. I know what to expect, which is something that may be a barrier if you're first starting out, because you don't necessarily know how this piece of equipment is supposed to work ideally. And now this person you're buying
Do
from
they
has
use this
done
together properly?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, I'm showing up. If I don't have any idea and the person who put it together didn't have any idea, I'm asking them questions they don't know. So,
Yeah.
and then what if they bought it used from somebody else? So those are some things that I do. I start out with the idea, okay, this is what I need. I go look for it brand new, find out what the specs are, find out what people have said about it. Then I go look and see if it's available used. And right now, we're predicting there's going to be a lot of gently used equipment on the market because people are coming out of the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody bought all this stuff. Well, now they're returning to their public gym memberships.
Yeah.
And this thing, okay, like their wife is like, hey, it was great during the pandemic, but that bench press has got to get out the dining room. I need my kitchen back or whatever, you know what I mean? And so you're fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even joking. Like, I know somebody.
Yeah, that was that Echo bike.
Like somebody I know turned their dining room into a gym. Well, the pandemic's over. Let's get our dining room table back out of storage, and so let's go ahead and use it, right? And so as a result, you're going to get a lot of high quality equipment that's gently used, but you still need to know what you're looking for. And then it also helps you negotiate because you know what it went for brand new.
Right.
So if they say, well, it's a $600 piece new and they're asking you for $700, like, whoa, settle down.
And there was a lot of that during the pandemic.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I sold plates. Even my squat rack, that very first one that I got Oh my gosh, when I sold it, I made all of my money back.
Oh yeah. And then it goes the
Yeah.
other way too, because you're trying to sell your piece and people are like, well, I'll give you $100 for it. Like, whoa, this goes for normally
Yeah.
$600. You don't want to, like, I heard a story, a person told me that they saw one of those Kabuki transformer bars and they got
Hmm.
sold for $150.
Wow.
That's crazy for something that's a $600 piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And it's just because the people didn't know what they had. That also happens quite a bit up in the north, where people have like York barbells, because York is right there in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. They have York barbells sitting in somebody's shed and they don't know what they've got,
Yeah.
and they'll sell it to you for almost nothing. And so they're losing out on money that they could make. So all right, so those were some awesome tips from Natalie. I could not agree more with her approach. If you guys would like to watch the entire home gym tour and see how and why she picked out each specific piece of equipment that she has in that awesome garage gym, all you have to do is just click right there and you'll be able to watch it. Thanks for your support.